like I said, we didn't talk about it, but I feel like there's one team this is gonna be our team. Watch.
Right? I guarantee I'll one up you on that and surprise you.
Ooh, okay, bet. Come on.
Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast, the NFC West Divisional Preview. I'm your host, Jared. Thanks again for tuning in. This is our final preview of the NFL preseason. But next episode, we will be talking about some real games going on. We cannot wait. But before we dive into this division, let me bring on my right-hand man, my dude. Now, what's going on, man? We made it.
Yeah, what's going on, my guy? We did make it to the end of these previews. This is last, but definitely not the least, man. The NFC West Division. Ooh. I got some predictions to go on. I feel like that. You may agree, you may disagree, but it's definitely going to be definitely a talking point. This is going to be a real talkative division.
All right, here we go. So in all likelihood, Deshaun Jackson's going to at least get a return. Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding? Way downtown. Oh, what a shot from Curry. That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
This is the one division where you can sell me on any team.
Anything.
You right. Seriously can. There is one team that I will say I'm pretty out on. I guess I'll explain that later. But before we get there, let's start with the 49ers. They have the 15th hardest schedule, the 24th offensive line, and dealing with some problems paying Trent Williams. He has not been in the building. That is huge. I believe when Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel are both on the field, Brock Purdy is undefeated. When one of those are missing or both of them are not on the field, that team is sub 500. Just keep that in mind going forward. But they have the 24th offensive line, the second defensive line. I'm going to be honest, I kind of took a step back on some investments from this team because of the Ayuk and Trent Williams pay frenzy. They're missing two of maybe their top 5 pieces on the offense. And we know that Brock Purdy needs a full house to make all of this work. So is this one of the divisions where we recommend throwing in your parlay with the Chiefs? Absolutely not, because I think this division, believe it or not, can be wide open. Should the Niners win this division? Absolutely. They have the most talent. They have the most complete roster. They have probably the best coach when you look at head-to-head matchups in this division. But I will say, I'm not as high on them. I'm not betting any overs. I'm not betting them to win the division. I'm not betting them to win the conference nor the Super Bowl. Am I missing anything here, Donnell?
You're not missing anything. I'm actually kind of down on them. I feel like there's going to be definitely some regression on the table. And it's not so much of their talent. It's the matter of you just lost damn near your complete defensive line. You lost Kinlaw, Armstead, Sebastian Joseph, Randy Gregory, Clelin Farrell, and Javon Kinlaw, and Chase Young. And, Chase Young, that's just, Chase Young is Chase Young. But that is your whole defensive line group. And I get that you try to add on to it to kind of patch up some holes with but this D line is not going to dominate. This D line will no longer be that dominant D line that we all know. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, you're going to have Nick Bosa, of course. All right, that's neither here or there. But as a collective effort, I feel like the talent has definitely diminished on there. And I feel like that's going to really hamper the defense a tiny bit, and granted, they made a defensive coordinator change in the middle of the season. I guess it kind of improved the defense, whatever. And this is the first offseason they get with defensive coordinator to get things meshed over. But without that D-line talent, I really have this team kind of regressing a little bit. Still, should it be favorites to win division? Absolutely. All right, I'm not going to take that away from them. Brock Purdy, I still feel like it still has another step he can get to. Will he get there? I don't really know. But he's not going to get there without Ayuk. So whatever's going on with between Ayuk and the 49ers, bro, with the contract, the contract talks, it has to get done. And and definitely with Trent Williams. I don't know why that's not handled yet. So
that is their offensive line. The rest of them suck. Offensive.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you lose Trent Williams and Ayuk, wow, you're talking about a different team. And I like Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel's not that great of a route runner as Ayuk is. Let's be real. Okay, he's more versatile, but not that. I think he's a better route runner. So it's going to be tough, and especially with McCaffrey, they have to bubble wrap McCaffrey a little bit because of usage, and they're going to try to do that. But with them two missing, man, they're going to rely on McCaffrey a ton to get some work done. So hopefully some things get resoluted. But they're not a slam dunk to win this division, and I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, they're surprisingly thin at running back depth too, because Elijah Mitchell's out for the season now. So he is on the season-ending IR. They got Jordan Mason, and I can't remember their fourth string, but obviously, nothing amazing. So
right.
I'm gonna say it, like, this team surprisingly could toss this division out the window. Like, the house just seems to be dwindling away. Like, okay, shit, we need to put a new roof on. Oh, okay, the windows are leaking. The house is still there, but like it feels different. Like that team, the camaraderie that you said a few episodes ago, it doesn't seem to be there. It's like, I don't know, it feels a little different. They're talented as anybody. They might have the most complete roster in the NFL, but you're right, dude. Trent Williams and Ayuk have to be there if the Niners really want to have strong odds to meet somebody in the Super Bowl, because I have a feeling that this could be the year we see a little bit of a drop off. But let's go into the next team. The Rams, 16th hardest schedule, 16th offensive line. You guys know I have been a huge Rams backer. They kind of turned Stafford's deal into a one-year deal, so this potentially could be the last year of Stafford with the Rams. Apparently there's been some talks about maybe Dak coming over or whatever it may be, but
wow,
Aaron Donald being gone it kind of makes me nervous, as they're almost shifting into a rebuild mode. But I am going to play very small, the over 8.5 win total, because Stafford is still there. Puka Nacua is still there. Cooper Kupp is still there. And Sean McVay is still the head coach. And the reason why I'm not balling out of this team is because of Kyron Williams showed me how much of a workhorse he could be last year. He can be the guy. He was running over everybody, every team, getting consistent carries and yards. As long as he stays healthy, I like this team. They have a chance to win the division, of course, but I will say I'm not touching their Super Bowl odds, mainly because of Aaron Donald being gone. He is the X factor on that line for me. He makes everyone's jobs easier. I'm not on the Rams to win the Super Bowl, but I could see them win the division. I do see them getting over their win total. It's not going to be pretty. I'm going to be honest. It's not going to be pretty, but we did pick up Tre'Davious White in the offseason to help in that secondary.
Yes.
I think Kobe Turner on their D line from Wake Forest, he was graded pretty high. He's like one of the higher prospects in the league. I think he had like 9 sacks last year. Very quiet 9 sacks. So
you talking about the first round pick?
Yeah, Kobe Turner.
You talking about Jared Verse, that's the Florida State defensive end. That's who got drafted with the Rams.
No, I'm talking about Kobe Turner, the end who had a quiet year
last year. That's right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my bad.
So he's probably gonna slide into the Aaron Donald role,
right?
Or maybe Bobby Brown. I can't remember, but yeah, Cameron Curl's still back there. Donnell's OG.
Yes, sir.
He's still back there. So there's names to this team. The puzzle, however, but I will say, Kyron Williams. I think they drafted Blake Corum, right? Corum.
Yes, they did.
We saw Tutu Atwell come through last season when there were some injuries and had a lot of big plays. I think DeMarcus Robinson's still there, or he just came over. This team's got a path, dude. They have a path to win the division. I'm just not on them to win the Super Bowl.
No, not to win the Super Bowl. To win the division, I ain't gonna lie to you. This is one of my favorite teams. I feel like this team is very slept on.
Okay,
very slept on. And I get it. Aaron Donald's gone. I mean, you like I said, bro. That's like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air without Will Smith. I mean, it's not the same show. It's not the same show. But here's what I'm gonna say to this, right? When you bring now Aaron Donald's gone, but you still have Byron Young, who's also a draft pick last year, alongside with Turner. They kind of help well on that D line. You drafted Verse and you drafted Fisk. Fisk is the defensive tackle. He could also step in as well. I mean, what they did was, yes, Aaron Donald's gone. They already prepared for it ahead of time, and then they added more D-line depth. And I feel like they're going to go with the Dan Quinn Cowboys route the last couple of years. Just have substantial depth on that D-line and just have fresh legs constantly running. I feel like that's going to be the game plan for the defense now, which I feel like will I'm not saying it, bro, it's Aaron Donald. You're not going to replace that production. But I feel like that's going to help alleviate some of that pressure of not having Aaron Donald there. I mean, like you said it. They bolstered the secondary with Tre'Davious White and Cameron Curl, and also Darius Williams got added to the secondary as well. To be honest, the biggest concern for me is that tight end spot, because Higbee is going to be on the PUP list to start the season, and I don't even know who their second tight end is. But as long as they can keep as long as they can keep the running game going, like I said, Kyron Williams, like you said, was definitely a dog, definitely was a workhorse, and he was definitely one of the big surprises last year. But I feel like Blake Corum, them two together can form a two-headed system to where it's like it alleviates some of the wear and tear on each other. So they're constantly going to be fresh. I mean, this team, I'm gonna be honest with you, this team is going to be sneaky good. I actually have them winning the division, and I honestly have them over 8.5 wins. This is one of my favorite teams, one of my sneaky teams.
Okay, yeah, I could see it. I like I said, you could sell me on any team. There is one team I'm a little bit higher on. But yeah, 8.5 wins. I'm playing it. We still got to recognize the quarterback is still with the coach. You know, not Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, but you know, this is still a quarterback that's been around, won a Super Bowl, and we still have a great head coach. So Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are still there. Like the Rams want to throw the ball, and when they don't have to throw the ball, you still have Kyron Williams, who's great out the backfield. So there is a lot of upside for this offense. It's just, can this defensive line be what they can be? So
right. It's a lot of potential. Is
someone going to step up in the absence of Aaron Donald? And rumor has it Aaron Donald hasn't even cleaned out his locker yet, whatever the hell that means. Like, I don't know if it's just like he'll get that random itch to come back. But dude, if this guy wants to come back week 2 or 3, I mean, shit, please do. Yeah. So, but let's move on to the Seattle Seahawks. 17th hardest schedule, 31st offensive line, 17th defensive line. Mike McDonald coming in over from the Ravens can be a big deal, but I feel like there's too many question marks on the offensive line. Geno Smith behind the second worst offensive line sounds like a disaster to me, to be frank. The secondary has really good pieces. They have a new coach, defensive coach, one of the best probably defensive coordinators we've seen in a few years. Mike McDonald has a chance to really, really up the ties on this defensive secondary. They're young. So they could give this team a chance. I have them right at 8 wins. That's if Geno Smith doesn't get killed. So I have no play on the win total. I have no play on the division and absolutely no play on the Super Bowl odds. But this will be an interesting team to see because I feel like the defense is going to be the identity of this team. We still have DK Metcalf, you know, like we still have Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith and Jigba. There are pieces, and we can't forget about Kenneth Walker, but like I want to give Kenneth Walker more praise here, but this offensive line is just so abysmal that I really don't know how to target this team on offense. Like what do you expect from this team?
I expect subpar play. Like I said, you have one of the worst O-lines in the league. And as much as I love Tyler Lockett now has become literally a possession receiver. No run out the catch. It's mainly just catch, get down, drop. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that limits explosiveness. And one thing this offense needs is if you have the worst offensive line is explosive plays to, you know, if you can't methodically down the field, you got to be able to go deep, make some explosive plays and kind of limit that. And you're not going to get a lot from your running game. Like I said, as far as like Kenneth Walker's dog, I'm not, K9, I get it. He's a dog. But we talk about it all the time. The foundation of the O-line and D-line makes a huge difference on a team. And to be honest with you, their D-line isn't really any better either. Granted, they drafted Byron Murphy out of Texas, so that's going to help a ton with defensive tackles. But there's no really path where I can say this defense can be top 15. I don't feel like that's a thing. I honestly felt like this defense was completely underwhelming last year with that talent at corner. Like I said, between Devin Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen, and those safeties, like this team should not be allowing explosive plays, allowing them to just be gashed like that. But that's just the harsh reality of it. That's what we've seen so far. So maybe it's going to be a turnaround. I'm not putting my money on it though. Like honestly, the offense needs to be revamped. I'm going to be honest with you when it comes to that. And this defense still needs some more pieces to kind of piece together. So I'm kind of down on the Seahawks this year.
Yeah, just most of this team is just, none of it is appetizing because it's just so middle of the pack. It's like we don't have any, like we could see it. But it's just, I like their secondary. I like it. Let me rephrase that. I like the secondary better that Mike McDonald is there. So that's why I'm kind of giving them some praise. But this offensive line is going to be the death of this team. And I hate to say that, but yeah, this is Geno's gonna have to ball out and make quick reads. Like the dude's gonna have to be time traveling, trying to figure out who's open because that's not gonna be fun to play behind. We've made it. The Arizona Cardinals, baby. Listen up, everybody. The 17th hardest schedule. Okay, I'm not buying it. Whatever. Offense. Now listen, this is gonna be ugly, but hear me out. Offensive line 26th, defensive line 32nd. They couldn't listen, they could have easily traded back, but they grew some nuts. This franchise grew some nuts. They went for it. They got it. They've got Marvin Harrison Jr. So I've got it like that. We saw how scrappy this team was last year, missing Kyler Murray. We saw how scrappy they were. They were in games. I don't know if it was the coaching. I don't know if it was the culture, but that team was scrappy. I mean, shit, they beat the Cowboys. And a lot of people were targeting the Cardinals, me, in Survivor, but I was dodging bullets because the random time I would get a weird feeling. I'm like, okay, no, Cardinals are no way. They'd beat these teams and they were, obviously the Cardinals were winning a lot of these games and they crumbled in the fourth quarter. I don't know if it was quarterback play. I don't know if it was coaching, but I know Jonathan Gannon looked kind of corny last year with these weird pep talks and the team knew they sucked, but I feel like there's a different culture this year. Apparently Kyler Murray has been spending more time in the facility. He's not trying to run home and play Call of Duty. Maybe, we'll don't give so much credit to him and maybe Call of Duty sucked recently, but Kyler Murray is actually interested in football again. I don't know if he got that itch from being out for most of the season last year and was realized wait a minute, I really want to play this game. Maybe the injury is the best thing that could have happened to him because now he looks like he wants to play. I'm just going to say it. What really opened my eyes to the Cardinals was when I saw the odds for them were 13-1 to win the division. I was looking, I'm like, what the hell? Are they playing suspended? Are they not playing with a part of their team? Are they not allowed to have a second receiver? Why the hell are they 13-1 when this division is wide open? Guys, the gap is seriously not that much. Like I said, what was the first thing I said on this podcast? You can sell me on any team to win this division. There's question marks everywhere. Age, coach, pay, whatever it may be. And you're telling me I get 13-1 on a team that I think over the last 12 seasons, 11 times a team has gone first or worse to first. Hello, history repeats itself, believe it or not. And I cannot get talked. I'm sorry. I don't care what it is, Dino. You cannot talk me out of taking this Cardinals team at 13-1, dude. What are we talking about?
Okay, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna share your fixation with this here, just little 13-1. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. But here's what I will say to you. I want to ask you a simple question. Do you believe that there's a path for a division winner to win 9 games this year?
Absolutely.
So, and that's a scenario, right? Where Arizona Cardinals win 9 games.
Brock Purdy turns back into a pumpkin. The Rams just hit the age barrier. The Seahawks just have an abysmal 6-win season. And Kyler Murray's playing against the Niners or the Rams to win the division in week 17.
I get it. No, I get it. And you know what's funny? As you said it, in my head, I was racking, okay, so what's the path? What's the path? Literally, the Rams getting hurt. All it takes is Puka Nacua getting hurt, and that goes down the drain. That goes down the drain.
Brent Williams isn't there. Brock Purdy can't find a damn read.
Bro,
I'm telling you, the gap is not as large as people think.
Here's what I'm going to say. For the value, yeah, I ain't going to lie to you. 13-1 for the value is very tempting. Odds, the odds are, like I said, I'm not going to bank on it, but plus 13-1 is very, I give it to you. You sold me. That is very, very tempting with age being a factor, contract issues being a factor for another team. And honestly, like I said, I think the Seahawks are just kind of left out there to be hanging, left for dead, to be honest with you. So I understand what you're saying. I get it. I can't bank on it, but here's what I will say. They're going in the right direction. And I can say that. As long as Kyler Murray is showing that he's willing to be invested into the franchise, and as long as he starts performing like he is one, and Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be an absolute fucking stud. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. He's going to be a stud. So for him to have a number one receiver like that, I mean, who was his other number one receiver? DeAndre Hopkins, when he was there. And you see what he did with DeAndre Hopkins. So I get it. There's a path, not banking on it. Yeah, that's different. Here's what I'm gonna say. I was very surprised about that. I'm not gonna lie to you. So hey, I give you credit. There's nothing more I can really say.
I just don't think anybody in this division should be more than 10 to win the division.
And that I agree. Because like I said, I can definitely see regression for the 49ers. And as long as you see regression for the 49ers, the division is wide open. Because the Rams is not a slam dunk, and the Seahawks for sure as hell is not a slam dunk. So hey man, we'll see. I give it to you. We'll see though.
Yeah, I mean, they still have James Conner, and we saw that dude was solid, and they picked up Trey Benson in the draft out of Florida State.
Out of Florida.
I'm telling you, that guy is a animal. So they've got some pieces. I like where this team's heading. Marvin Harrison Jr., please just do me a solid this year and just go past every cornerback and just score 20 touchdowns and just make life simple.
Here's what I'm gonna say though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Marvin Harrison Jr. got to be Rookie of the Year. as far as I'm concerned. If that's going to happen, Marvin Harrison's Rookie of the Year.
I agree. I can agree. I see what you're saying here. I see what you're saying. If they do win this division, it's definitely going to be because Marvin Harrison Jr. has like 1,400 receiving yards.
Or Trey McBride is Most Improved Player of the Year. I mean, Trey McBride is definitely a surprise. So hey, who knows, man? Like I said, who knows?
This team I'm just telling you, this gap is not as big as it seems. So when all these teams are middle of the pack come Thanksgiving, Christmas, I'm going to tell you, just don't say I told you so. Let's just recap. We have come to the conclusion of our previews. I think my largest divisional bets are the Lions, the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Jets, and the Bengals. Dynel likes the Rams. Am I missing anybody else that you took?
No, I like the Bengals that they win that division. I remember we talked about it earlier. I like the Bengals. I also like the Rams, Bengals. I like the Bills. Remember, I said I like the Bills, but I ain't gonna lie.
I'm on the Jets. He's on the Bills.
Yeah. That might change a little bit too. You ain't gonna lie. The way I was talking to my dad yesterday, bro, on Sunday, and we was talking about the whole division. I was like, God damn, Jets really do gotta. I'm telling you, the Jets really gotta steal him. But now I'm gonna stick with the Bills. I'm at like Josh Allen is that, and I feel like he's gonna prove a lot of people wrong. The turnovers will go down because of Joe Brady. So I will stick with the Bills there. And honestly, that's about it, right? Oh, and Packers. I got the Packers winning that division for the NFC North. So yeah,
gotcha. Ugly ones, of course. I got the ugly ones. I've got the Panthers in that division. And if you guys kind of see the theme here, the Panthers and the Cardinals, two division where to me it seems wide open. Like that's the gist of it. I think there's just too much value on these teams. There's a path. If there's a will, there's a way. That's what they say. But I will say, Dynel, now it's time for the big moment.
Let's go. What's up?
My Super Bowl prediction: Eagles versus Bengals. What is your Super Bowl prediction on the spot?
They're literally the exact same thing.
Are you serious?
Literally the exact same thing. Eagles and Bengals. I got the Eagles going back to the Super Bowl this year. Their talent is unmatched. 49ers on a decline. And then the Bengals, Joe Burrow's first full year back, fully healthy. Jamar Chase just said he's going to play week 1. These guys ain't going to be stopped, man. So, yeah, like I said, I said Bengals to win the division and everything. So, honestly, that's literally my matchup. Bengals and Eagles, dead ass.
Okay.
So for you to hear you say that, I said, what the fuck?
All right. So there is our combo play. Dynel and I are taking a Cincinnati Bengals versus Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl matchup. You can get those odds on FanDuel at 50-1. With that being said, this has been the final preview of our preseason. Thanks again for tuning in. If you missed any of the previous episodes, please go back. We have covered every single division and conference. The next episode, believe it or not, Dynel and I will be talking about regular season football.
Mm-hmm.
Dynel, any last words before we get out of here?
We are here. We're fucking here. Guys, come on, man. Like, are y'all excited? Because this is about to be the story of the year, bro. Like, this year has been definitely compelling. This offseason has been great. A lot of division rivals. I mean, a lot of players going from one division rival to the other. It's going to be a lot of drama this year. I'm definitely pumped. Lock the fuck in. So make sure you guys lock us in on X at @Spread_.
Yep. We will get the schedule worked out. We will give you guys an update on the first episode of the regular season. It'll probably be something like an episode released on Wednesday and an episode released on like Saturday. We may make it 3 episodes a week. We'll see how this goes. But obviously this first week, there are 2 early games, so a Thursday and Friday. We will most likely do an episode just for those 2 games, a special.
Mm-hmm.
So expect that somewhere maybe like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Then we'll dig into the Sunday games, and then we'll give our 5 favorite picks for the week. Because as you guys know, Dynel and I are in a pick'em contest, 5 games every week against the spread. We are also going to do a survivor pool. For those of you guys who followed me last year, we went so far. We're gonna get another shot this year. I'm actually gonna play in. I'm gonna play in 2. Dynel and I are going to play in one together that we will do exclusively on the podcast. We will make picks together. We'll talk about it together. And then I'll also have a secondary one where I will just play personal, just as we did last year. So we will have the STS Pick'em, we'll have the STS Survivor, and then I'll have my personal Survivor that we will do every single week. So make sure you guys follow us on Twitter or X at @ShredTheSpread_. You can follow us on TikTok at @ShredTheSpread. Follow Dynell at Dineasy_. And also just stay up to date with the podcast. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We will do our best to answer. But it is time for regular season football.
Well,
Dynell,
let's go.
it's been awesome. Hell yeah, we kicked ass on the previews. And until next time, we'll see you for regular season NFL. See ya.
Peace.